My name is Gloria Steinem. I'm a feminist organizer, writer, and speaker.
I'm Autumn, and I'm living off tips.
I was a restaurant worker off and on for 12 years, I think, in total.
Hi, my name is Karlyn. I'm 35 years old, and I worked for Red Lobster for 7 years, and I'm a server, and I live off tips.
I was an occasional waitress and catering person when I was living in Toledo. I worked as a waitress, a glorified waitress that is a bunny in a Playboy club, because I was writing an expose of the working conditions there. So I've had a wide variety of experience, and they were all situations in which I and everybody else were very, very dependent on tips, and they were all very poorly paid jobs.
The federal wage is $2.13 an hour. In the state of Texas, it's also $2.13 an hour. At that wage, we cannot provide for our children. We cannot provide the health care that our children need. We cannot provide the transportation that we need to work. We cannot provide the basic necessities in life.
If the tip wage was higher than $2.13, I would be able to make enough money to be able to feed my son and myself.
I was always working at least 2 jobs, so because I never knew exactly how much money I was going to make.
It was times that it was my daughter's birthday one year, and I couldn't give her presents because I didn't have the money to give it to her, because I had to choose between a light bill or a birthday present.
And I've had times where I've had to stand in line at the churches to get food for my children. And I've had to stand in line at the assistance places to be able to get utility bills paid and to get things that I need.
The most sinister thing about not getting a decent salary and being dependent on tips is that you're dependent on currying favor from the customer. And that is especially true for women. I think it's part of the reason that women dominate this profession. If you're living off tips, it means that you are not getting a living wage. It means you're dependent on the kindness or generosity of strangers. It means you're constantly dependent.
Living off tips is a grind, a hustle for me.
Living off tips is difficult because you never know what your wage is going to be from week to week, so you don't know what your rent, how much money you have for rent or for food.
Living off tips makes us desperate. And I realized that it's just too hard, and it's been too long, and we have to change something.
There are people who care deeply about whether or not everything on their plate has been grown within 100 miles. But do they care about the person who's serving? And the way that will happen is by each person who's had this experience telling their story. I don't know of any social justice movement that hasn't started that way.
If you are living off tips, share your story now at livingoftips.com. Together we can raise the tip to minimum wage.